Damn, this chapter just goes to show that you'll never walk alone, Deku. Hello there, welcome to another manga review of Macadamia, and it's the latest chapter of My Hero. Chapter 319 has been released after its break, and now this chapter has quite a ton of things in store for us. This chapter really blew my mind and how it progressed, with Class 1A students there wanting to give a helping hand to reach out to their friend Deku. With that said, let's go over what happened in this chapter and get my thoughts in this chapter along the way. Now the chapter takes place in the UA dorms, where the rest of Class 1A students gather around after receiving a letter from Deku's departure, and it takes place a few days after Deku left UA. We see a few of the students having their conversation, as Bakugo believes that Deku is working with Endeavor behind their backs. Tanya asks the ones who have mentors work on this, who are involved with Deku. However, they said they haven't heard any news from them during these difficult times. The students know that All Might hasn't made any appearances for a while with the current situation happening, that classes are suspended and graduation has been delayed. Bakugo remembers that Best Genius and Hawks were contacting Deku in the hospital, knowing that Deku doesn't want to go back to UA. Bakugo believes the one who sent these letters must have come from All Might. Denki Kaminari steps in and says if Deku is with the grown-ups, shouldn't they be less worried? And from the media, the top 3 heroes are working together on easing the situation Japan is facing. Bakugo claims that's why when it comes to Deku, All Might, Endeavor, or anyone else, this is the worst possible scenario. Hearing that, Kirishima pumps his fist with the eagerness to find someone to contact. Uraraka conjures the plan that Endeavor is a UA Illumi, and with that info, she says let's get a bit pushy. And so a few days later, we see Principal Nezu in his office with Endeavor present, along with the Class 1A students there. Endeavor noticing it was a trick. Principal Nezu says that after hearing what they had to say, he believes there's room to discuss the matter. Shoto was first one to speak, asking Endeavor why he ignored him when he said they would stop Toyo together. Endeavor claims that sentiment was what saved him back then, but that didn't sit well with Todoroki as he doesn't feel saved, and if Deku is the exception. Then Shoto went for the jugular, asking Endeavor is letting Deku and All Might work together, and all Endeavor could do was stare in silence, which was enough for Shoto. Figuring that out, Bakugo steps in, telling Endeavor that he's made close to a right call. However, he clarifies to Endeavor that he doesn't understand anything about Deku, saying that Deku doesn't take himself into account, as that was the same way All Might became the symbol of peace. Bakugo tells Endeavor that Class 1A can't leave them be. Hearing that from Bakugo, Endeavor sees how much Bakugo has grown, and sees that they need to match Deku's pace to support him. Hearing their resolve to join, Endeavor takes out a GPS and tosses it behind him, while we see Hagakure, Mineta, Sero, and Koda trying to catch it. As so, with this gadget, they'll be able to track down Deku. Todoroki understands why Deku will hide his quirk, one for all, but neither him or his class will just sit back after reading the letter, which shocked him. And then Class 1A representative Tanya Ida says that they're members of Class A, and they follow Deku wherever he will go, and gives a remarkable speech that Deku is their friend. Endeavor hears them out but warns them that the outside world is dangerous for these kids, and Principal Nezu tells them that these students are grown up. Knowing Deku is the main target from the villains, then Principal believes that it would be a good idea to have the students support him since Deku doesn't want to come back to UA. Whether or not he wants to come back, Nezu reveals to everyone that Deku is allowed to come back, and of course that statement surprised everyone. Hearing this news, Uraraka remembers the time she got the acceptance video from UA where she and her mother were crying, while Nezu explains to everyone since receiving the letters to join UA, those students accepted would be protected. Endeavor then asks Principal Nezu about the evacuees' safety, in which Nezu assures him that they'll be safe with the school still having the UA security barrier, stating that their preparations will finally show. And with that, he asks the students to please lend Deku a hand and bring him back here. And from the past, we now transition back to the present, where Deku is being apprehended by the controlled civilians, and this panel reveals the whole class pulled up to unite with Deku. With the escapee being caught, the civilians were able to be set free with the thanks from Bakugo. As the crowd clears, we see Deku is on the ground after what just happened. He then asks his classmates, everyone, why? And Uraraka replies to Deku that they're worried about him, as she said that with a serious glare and not showing any sign of a warm emotional welcoming. As usually, Uraraka being a kind-hearted girl who has a cheery face while others are around. Now moving on from that, Deku replies he's okay, although everyone could tell he's not, as he's struggling to even get up. Deku pulls his mask down, telling his friends they shouldn't worry about him, and that's where Bakugo cuts in, saying that's the wish coming from the successor of One For All, not giving into Deku's words. Bakugo asks Deku that after all of this, you're still smiling. Deku with his head down replies to Bakugo to be able to smile, for people to live in peace, he needs to keep moving forward. That said, with that line right there, has been quite a popular shonen trope, and for one anime I could think of is Eren Yeetger, who said this in season 4 of Attack on Titan, when Eren transformed in front of Reiner, which ended up with him thrashing around, which escalated in a whole conflict. And speaking of escalating conflicts, Deku powers up, clenching his fists, asking his class to get out of his way. And Bakugo, who's having a laugh, responds to Deku to try and make us, you all might wannabe, to get under his skin to provoke him. Then responds that they know that would be the case, as he commands the class to go after Deku. And Rocket says yeah, with his hero's face. Now with those three side to side and Deku on the other side, these parties are ready to duke it out while the rain drops on them as the manga chapter ends there. Oh boy, it's been worth waiting 2 weeks, waiting for this chapter to drop. But even with the wait, I hope Horikoshi, the author of Macadamia, is doing good, because recently, this past month or so, there's been breaks there and there because of his health problems. So I hope he takes good care of himself as he provides us these banger chapters coming out weekly. And to be honest with you, I'm very thankful for his work. I'm glad to follow up with the manga to this day. And now on the manga talk, this upcoming chapter, we're going to see Deku versus classmates. And really the last time we seen this one person versus whole group was when Muriel solo class 1A inside the gymnasium. Although for my prediction, I don't think Deku is going to defeat every single one of them, as I believe the numbers advantage will overwhelm Deku, despite him getting used to his quirk one for all. But we'll see what happens in the next chapter. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do, please give this video a like. And if you want, consider subscribing to my channel for more Macadamia manga content reviews. And see you all next time in the next video. Peace.